So, you're making the big move to OpenShift. That's a fantastic step forward. You're building for the future. But let me ask you a question. Is your security strategy ready for that future? Today, we're going to talk about how to build a truly secure foundation for your applications right from day one.
All right, let's just dive right into the why this is so important. Look at these numbers. 90%. That's 9 out of 10 organizations have had a Kubernetes security incident in the last year. That's pretty much everybody. And for 2/3 of them, security concerns actually slowed down their application deployments. This isn't some hypothetical, far-off risk. This is a real-world problem that can stop your OpenShift migration dead in its tracks if you don't get ahead of it.
Now, as you scale out your new OpenShift environment, especially when you start spanning across your own data centers and into the cloud, your attack surface is just going to get bigger. That's a given. And that's precisely the moment when the default, out-of-the-box approach to security starts to show its cracks and become a real liability.
Okay, this slide is absolutely critical. By default, Kubernetes secrets are just base 64 encoded. And let's be crystal clear, encoding is not encryption. It's like writing a password down, but just using a different font. Anyone who finds it can easily read it. This means right out of the gate, you're dealing with huge risks like having no real encryption and having to manually rotate keys, which, let's be honest, rarely happens as often as it should.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. OpenShift's role-based access control, or RBAC, is fantastic. It's like having a great bouncer at the club door, checking IDs and making sure only the right people get in. But that's only half the story. It doesn't help you with what happens inside the club. It doesn't manage how a secret is created, when the locks get changed, or how you safely kick someone out. That's the gap. That's the vulnerability.
So how do we close that gap? You bring in a tool that's purpose-built for this exact problem. A system designed from the ground up to manage machine identity and the entire secrets lifecycle. And that's where we bring in HashiCorp Vault.
The easiest way to think about Vault? It's like a digital Fort Knox for all your sensitive data. It becomes the single, secure source of truth for every secret, every password, every certificate. Doesn't matter if your app is running in your data center or across multiple clouds on OpenShift. It's built to handle this stuff securely at scale.
Now, Vault has a lot of powerful features, but if there's one thing I want you to take away from this slide, it's this: dynamic, short-lived credentials. This is a complete game changer. Instead of creating a password that lives for months or years, Vault generates credentials on demand that might only be valid for a few minutes. Once they're used, they disappear. This single feature just obliterates a huge portion of your attack surface.
So how does it actually do all this? Well, it all starts with a very simple but powerful principle: trust nothing. It operates on a zero-trust model. Every single request for a secret, whether it's from an application, a container, or a user, has to first prove who it is. No exceptions, no free passes.
And this is the engine that makes it all run. It's a simple, 6-step, automated flow. An application says, hey, I'm this app in this OpenShift namespace. Vault goes and confirms that with OpenShift. Once verified, Vault hands back a short-lived token that acts like a temporary keycard. That keycard only opens the doors the app is allowed to open. And every single step of this process is logged. It's automation that removes the chance for human error. Which brings us to the whole point of this discussion: how integrating Vault with your new OpenShift platform takes you from having something that's just powerful to having something that is fundamentally secure, compliant, and way more efficient, right from the very beginning. Let me paint a picture for you. Think of OpenShift as this amazing state-of-the-art factory you're building to create and run your applications. Vault is the automated security system for that entire factory. It's the biometric scanners on every door, the armored trucks, the secure vault in the basement. You just wouldn't build a brand new factory and then leave the front door unlocked, would you?
And we're not talking about a loose, bolt-on solution here. Vault integrates deeply into the fabric of OpenShift. It can do things like inject secrets directly and securely into your application pods so developers never even have to see them. It can automate certificate management for all your services. It can even encrypt the core OpenShift database itself. We're talking about hardening security at every single layer of your new platform.
And remember, security is not a one-time setup. It's a journey. This integration is designed to support you across that entire lifecycle. From day 0, when you're just defining your security policies, all the way to day N, when you're running at massive scale and need things like automated disaster recovery.
Your security posture grows and matures right alongside your platform.
So we've talked a lot about the what and the how, but let's get to the most important part, the why. What's the real business value here? It really boils down to 3 key areas.
First, and this one is huge, you make your developers faster, period. Imagine a world where your dev teams don't have to file a ticket and wait for days to get a database password. They just get it, securely, automatically, instantly. You're removing security as a roadblock, letting your developers focus on what they do best, building amazing applications that drive your business forward.
Second, you bring sanity to your operations. Your platform team gets a single pane of glass, one system to manage secrets and enforce policy everywhere. This eliminates what we call secret sprawl, where credentials end up in config files, wikis, spreadsheets, all over the place. This simplifies operations and dramatically reduces the risk of misconfigurations and mistakes.
And finally, the most important outcome of all, you fundamentally strengthen your security. By getting rid of static, hard-coded credentials, you remove the #1 target for attackers. You enforce a true zero-trust model. And when the auditors show up, you have a perfect, centralized audit trail of who accessed what, where, and when. Compliance becomes a simple report, not a 3-month fire drill.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought. You're investing in a powerful, modern, and transformative application platform with OpenShift. That's a serious commitment to your future. The only question you need to ask is your security strategy ready to match that investment and protect it? Because a powerful platform without an equally powerful security strategy is just a bigger target.